Hello there! I truly hope you are doing well. My name is Ruben and I am a mathematics teacher. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to explore how we can perform polynomial division using Ruffini's rule. In this video, I'll be thoroughly explaining all the essential concepts and specific conditions that you'll need to fully grasp in order to effectively divide a polynomial by a binomial using Ruffini's rule. Well, let's begin with this video. The first condition we need to meet to be able to divide by Ruffini is that the divisor, that is to say, the one located here at the back, has to be in the form x plus or minus a number. What does this mean to you? That your x needs to be raised to the power of 1 and the coefficient, that is to say, the numerical value positioned in front of it, must also be 1. For instance, if we consider x squared plus 3, you'll observe that the x is elevated to the power of 2. It is not to the power of 1. So, this particular binomial expression won't be suitable for you to apply Ruffini's rule. It's the same if you have something like this. For example, 3x minus 10. Notice also that you now have a 3 in front of the x, so it won't work for you to apply Ruffini's rule either. The x always has to be by itself plus or minus a number like we have in the example here. So, in this particular example, yes, we will be able to use Ruffini's rule. The other condition that we must meet is that your dividend polynomial, the one highlighted in green, must always be complete and ordered. What exactly does it mean for it to be complete and ordered? We need to arrange the exponents starting from the largest one all the way down to the independent term. Remember that the independent term is the one that does not contain any x variable. So, we're going to order the dividend polynomial. The largest exponent that we have is 4. So we take the term with its coefficient and sign, x to the 4th power. If we're going to arrange it in decreasing order, using the exponents, after 4 would come 3. We're looking for the 3, so it would be this one right here, meaning it's going to be a minus. Always remember to pay close attention to the signs, 5x to the power of 3. Now, I have the 4, I have the 3, so the next one would be the 2. But observe, is there any exponent of 2? No, there isn't. So now we have to complete it. How exactly are we going to complete it? With an additional 0, x, and to the exponent that you are missing, in this case, to the power of 2. Let's continue. We have 4, we have 3, we have 2. We're going for 1. Do we have 1? Yes, right here. Because remember, when there's nothing, there's always 1. It's positive. So we add plus x. And finally, the constant term, which in this case is 2. All of this, I am going to divide by x plus 2. Before we continue with the video, I would like to tell you that if this video is helping you, please give it a like. It doesn't cost you anything at all, and it helps me out a whole lot. I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and please tell me in the comments what specific topic you would like us to cover in our next video. Also, I want to let you know that if you are interested in making a collaboration with this educational project, which is not yet monetized, you will be able to find all the relevant links in the video description below. Any collaboration you wish to make is of tremendous help for us to continue creating completely free educational videos. Now then, let's begin to see how Ruffini's rule works. What are we going to do? We're going to take only the coefficients and the signs from the polynomial that I completed and ordered. In this case, it would be minus 3, minus 5, 0. Always remember that if there's nothing there, it's a 1, minus 2. And now we're going to proceed with setting up the Ruffini's table. Okay, many teachers do it in this particular way, while other teachers, however, do it the way that I do, where I separate out the independent term. What this means is we're going to draw another line here. And why do we do that? Because we're separating out what will be our remainder or our residue. Once I've already got the table prepared, complete with all the coefficients and their respective signs. So, what exactly am I going to do? I'm going to take the number that is accompanying the x in the divisor. That is to say, this particular number that I have right here, the plus 2. And where precisely am I going to place it? I'm going to place it right here, but with the sign changed. Look, it's plus 2, I write minus 2. If it had been minus 7, I'd put plus 7. Let's start working with the rule. What are we going to do now? I will bring down the first coefficient directly, all right? I bring it down as it is. In this case, it's minus 3. And what am I going to do now with that minus 3 that I just lost? I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. Pause. That means a minus times a minus gives us a plus, and 3 times 2 is 6. Pause. Now, where am I going to place this result? Pause. I'll put it inside the little box directly below the next number, which is 6. Pause. What's the next step I'm going to take? Pause. I'm going to add them up. Here, inside this little box, we're always going to add. In other words, negative 5 plus 6, that leaves you with positive 1. After I've completed that calculation, what's my next step? I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing, alright? I take the number that I have and multiply it by minus 2. That is to say, I have 1 times minus 2, which is minus 2. Where am I going to put it? Inside the little box, in the next available number that I have, that is right here. What do I do now? I'm going to add it up again. Observe that they are always the same steps. 0 plus negative 2 gives you negative 2. What do I do now? I'm going to do exactly the same thing again. I take the new number that I just got and multiply it by negative 2. Negative times negative is positive, and 2 times 2 is 4. Now, where do I put that? Inside the little box for the next number. What am I supposed to do now? I have to add them up again. 1 plus 4, that gives me 5. How do we continue from here? In the very same way, I take the new number that I obtained and multiply it by minus 2. That gives me plus times minus, which is minus 5 times 2, 10. Let's go back and add this up again. So minus 2 plus a negative 10, that's going to give us a total of minus 12. And you'll see, that's exactly where the entire development of our small table would finally be complete. Why is that? Because I don't have any more numbers that I can continue to add, you see? So the value that I have obtained here will be considered the remainder, or the residue. Now there's something really important. Remember what I told you earlier today, that I'm dividing. That means I have to have all the parts of the division. What am I trying to tell you with that? Look, the parts of the division are el, que, te, que yo, te, de. So the dividend, as you can see, is this particular number, and the divisor, on the other hand, is this one right here, the specific value that we've clearly marked in red. Then the rest, or what we call the remainder, will be the amount that's left over for you, neatly set aside. And what crucial component would we still be missing? We would still be missing the final result, which is the quotient. And how are you going to obtain this quotient? It's really quite simple. With what you had left over here, separated. Remember that we are dividing a polynomial by a binomial. This means that our result is going to be another polynomial. But for this series of numbers that I have here, in order for it to be a polynomial, what would I be missing? I'm missing the x's. So we'll have to add them in now, okay?
What are we going to do? We'll put the numbers exactly as they were left for me there.
If I can. Now, listen closely. Not the rest of it, just the specific part that I've kept separate right here. And what exactly am I going to do now? I'm going to proceed by adding the x's. The exponent of the first x, what will it be? It will be the exponent I had in the dividend, the highest degree, but with 1 subtracted. So if I have 4, I subtract 1, and here I should have a 3. Since there's nothing here, it's plus 1. I'll add the x, and then I'll proceed in a decreasing fashion. If we had a 3, what will be placed right here? It's going to be a 2.
No, less than that. We're going to add the letter x.
Watch closely. 3.
2, it would be number 1. If you want to add it, then add it. If not, just leave it as is. Plus 5, and that would be your quotient, the result of your division. I truly hope this video has been helpful to you. If so, I'd like to kindly ask you, please, to give it a like and to subscribe to the channel, which helps me out tremendously. And if you'd like to make a donation, in the video description, you'll find all the corresponding links. I'll see you in future videos. Cheers!